Hi everybody. So I'm almost getting ready to go, but it's been a couple of days, very interesting days, that I have been attending like some sort of a workshop on the Mayan calendar. I don't know if you know, but the Mayan calendar holds so many secrets about nature, about the Mayan culture in itself, about the way the universe speaks to us, and it also could potentially hold the messages that we have to get from nature to discover exactly what we need to do to stop what is happening to us, to Earth, planet Earth, animals. So I cannot hide the fact that it has been super interesting. It has been mind-blowing in itself, and it has once again confirmed to me the reason why I want to do this that I'm doing. Just to remind you briefly, first of all, I don't have scripts, so this just comes to me. Why am I doing this? One, life brought me here. I had other plans, and so I discovered the Mayan culture just by luck, basically. And when I say I discovered the Mayan culture, I discovered the current and alive Mayan culture, and not the one that is portrayed as folklore and just from the past, like pyramids and stones and archaeology and stuff like that. So I came to Felipe Carrillo Puerto looking for inspiration, just because I read that it is the Mayan culture capital, and it has been a roller coaster and an amazing story since that day. That has been 6 weeks, and we are in the process of building our packages to invite people to come and visit. And well, it's vast and rich, and it has amazing things to offer. If you're interested, really interested in culture, in diversity, in gastronomy, in nature, in secrets, in wildlife, in jungle. So that's what we have to offer. But anyway, about what I'm doing right now in front of you, telling you a story, it's basically to let you know that for the last 6 weeks that I have been here, it has been just full of discovery. From finding teachers that are teaching me the language and about medicinal plants and about the ancestors and grandparents and ceremonies, to once again learning about the calendar and even more information about the syncretism that is hidden not only behind the buildings that we have, but behind every single deity that we have as in the Mexican Catholic religion. Nobody knows about this, or not many people knows about this. Some of my passengers might remember, but when colonialism happened, Mayan people, at least, if not all the indigenous cultures, Mayan people resisted. They resisted a lot to colonization, and but they were dying in the process of that resistance. So they were smart, and they said, okay, whatever, let's just give them what they want. And so at the same time, colonization involved the priests to observe the Mayan rituals, the indigenous rituals, in order to grab aspect of it and say, okay, so this is what you're doing, but now you're gonna do it like this. So it was like a give and take type of thing. And so Mayan people at some point said, okay, whatever, so we're gonna take it, we're gonna do it. Okay, yeah, you're saying that we're going to pray for this virgin. Okay, so in this syncretism something happened, and they chose a date that aligned perfectly to all traditions, all ceremonies, all celebrations of deities that existed. For example, something that I learned today, and you don't have to quote me, something that you can go and research yourself, because this is I'm learning in the process, and it's all my interpretation. there's this Virgin on the 15th of August that is celebrated by the Mayan now in the Catholic religion. But this Virgin is the representation, the direct representation of a goddess that gave birth basically to everything. So learning about this and learning that every single one of the symbols that the Mayan culture had in the past before colonialism is embedded into every one of the saints and celebrations that the Spanish gave us. So in the end, and this is going to be shocking to everybody, we are Catholic, but we're really celebrating and being devoted still to the images of the deities of the past. So yes, we were taken away from our beliefs, but not really. And learning this it has been just mind-blowing because it just tells you so much more about the Mayan culture. This is just something I learned these 2 days, and to me it's fantastic. Something else I want to tell you about is my own experience of learning about the Mayan culture and why it is important for us to know it, not only as Mexicans, not only as Mayan people, because Mayan people needs to know about their own culture, not only about that, but also as the world in general. Why? Because I don't know if you think that way, but the attachment to stuff is making our society sick. And it is in fact indigenous cultures of all over the world that have the knowledge and hold the knowledge of connection to nature. So this is not about a tourist attraction. This is about learning how to go back to basics and feed your spirit. And in the process, going to a lagoon, going to a cenote, attending a ceremony, attending a ritual, eating fantastic food, but learning about nature once again. And this is held in the heart of the indigenous culture. In specific right now, Mayan culture. So, for example, another fact that I have learned, and this is related to the language. I'm learning Mayan, and to me, it's poetry. So if you like to read and write and the linguistic part of things just as an amateur, Mayan language is gonna blow your mind as well. Just to give you an example, before colonialism, there was a word in Mayan, and I can get it for you, and I think I have posted it already. There was a word that was used to that commitment, to that exchange, and the meaning of that word was flowers exchange. So getting attached and getting committed to another person meant I give you flowers, you give me flowers back. That's the meaning of marriage in the Mayan culture, okay? After Catholicism, they said, okay, no, that's not what it means. The Spanish said that. And then they came up and said, okay, give me the word for this. And it's actually taken from the word sin, attached to the sin that Eve made while giving, what's his name, the apple. So they found this word, and the word meaning currently is the end of the road. By getting married. Can you imagine? That is exactly the meaning that they took away from us, and they imposed the meaning of the end of the road. So, something else to know about the language. If you agree with me, you will, if you think this way, you might have read a little bit about that. Language forms a culture. If you don't speak, it's half of you, basically. There's many other forms of expression, but the language is paramount to a culture. So when there was no sin in our world, somebody comes and tells us, okay, but they're sinning. So we're like, okay, get this word, it means something. But there's no sin, so we don't understand it. So by nature, you know that our culture was not sinful. Or the word fear. What's fear? In the Mayan culture, there's gratitude. There's no please. There's gratitude. There's permission. There's no begging. There's saying thank you and praying and being grateful for what you have and saying, I respect you. There's no please. It's subtle, but it's there. So the language didn't hold some messages that we got after Catholicism. So violence, for example, books say that the Mayan culture is super violent, when there's no proof of that. It was the Spanish that burned everything that we had as evidence, and they wrote about what they observed, but they didn't transmit it all. So coming here and hearing this from the Mayan people that is alive and wanting to share, you'll know the history that hasn't been written, and that people doesn't want to get out much. What else have I learned? The elders, many of them that are still around us, hold knowledge and awareness of the situation and the conditions and the circumstances of the world, and they don't have a phone, they don't watch TV, they don't drink Coca-Cola, they don't do lots of things that we in the modern world have to do to be informed. They don't do it, but they speak about what's going on. Just because they still have a deep connection with nature, they can still see the sky and receive messages. Just because it didn't rain on the day of the month that they know that it's going to rain, or by seeing more squirrels going from north to south or from east to west. This is not a fact. This is something that has come to me in conversations. But little things like ants carrying fresh leaves or dry leaves, there's a message. There's a message, and it holds the message that we need to know so we can actually tackle certain problems that we have and the way to tackle them. So the fact that these people is in places that are remote with absolutely no internet connection and absolutely no awareness of the Group of 8 or whatever conference and climate change conference are going on, they know, they have the answer already. And they say, we just have to go back to that. And we just have to say thank you to the gods, and we just have to pray to the gods, and we have to remember the gods. So seeing and experiencing the Mayan culture in that way, it's going to give you a deeper understanding of our country. And just with the Mayan culture, there's more. The connection of every single one of the cultures of all over the world in terms of symbolism, in terms of language meanings, in terms of traditions in certain times of the year. There's a deep connection. It's like the Aboriginals from Australia, or I don't remember the name of the Indian people from back in the time, or the Egyptians, or the people from Peru, or the people the Bolivian or the Chilean. There's all of them have indigenous people. All of them hold symbols and traditions and ceremonies and rituals that are exactly for the same reason, for the same purpose, and are like intertwined in this very, very, very thin, subtle plane of the world, but they are completely connected. Same meaning. And to be able to come and see these and experience these and learn about this, because you can ask these things. I have been blessed and allowed to go in close to them, to many of them. So what I'm inviting you to do is to come and see the reality of it. You can still go, if you want, to all the destinations that we have that are paradise. But here you're going to find the source, the secret, the sweet stuff, and the reality of Mexico from just one culture. It's gonna make you want more. Go to the center, go to the north, see all the colors, witness all the crafts that we still have, handmade crafts, no Chinese stuff. So I invite you to see this and to experience this. This is my story and I want to share it with you. This is, if I am Mexican, if I am from the region, if I am living it to the max and enjoying it greatly, I'm sure that just because you don't know it, it's gonna mean so much more. And you're gonna take back to your country a lot of things that will be super meaningful and will be super helpful for whatever search that you're doing. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, please do let me know. If there's any subjects, topics that you would like me to tackle, please do let me know. On Monday, I have been invited to the radio. I'm gonna have another video made that will speak about the calendar, but from the Mayan person. It's gonna be in Spanish. As soon as I can, I'll find the way to do translations from Spanish to English and do the subtitles. Not an easy task, but thank you very much. Sorry about the lack of script, but at least I can transmit exactly who I am and why am I doing what I'm doing. Thank you very much. Until next time.